morning to everyone. My name is V. Sriharsha, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur. Today I am going to discuss about methods and constructors topic from the subject Java programming. And a method in Java is a block of code or collection of statements or set of code grouped together to perform a certain task or operation. We can use methods for a code reusable and parameterize the code and top-down programming and simplify the code. So coming to the reusability of the code, if you need to do the same thing or almost the same thing many times, we can write a method to do it and then call the method each time we have to do the task. Exactly, if you want to perform anything multiple times, so we can place that part into a method. We can call that method number of times we want, and that is called reusability of a code. And coming to the parameterize of the code means, so we can change the behavior of the method by passing the different set of parameters at each time. And coming to the top-down programming means, so top-down programming means we can easily solve a bigger problem by breaking into smaller parts. So for that, one entire problem can be divided into number of subparts. Here each subpart is called as a method. And to simplify the code, because the complex code inside a method is hidden from other parts of the program, it prevents the confusion of the compiler while compiling a source code. So these are the usages of the methods: the reusability of the code, parameterize the code, top-down programming, and simplify the code. And coming to the method declaration, so the method declaration provides the information about method attributes such as visibility of a method, return type of a method, names, and arguments of the method. It has 6 components that are known as method header. See, we can see the components which are involved in the method declaration. So in this diagram, here we are having access specifier and return type and method name and parameter list and method header and method body and method signature. So these are the different kinds of components which should be there in method declaration. Each method declaration should contain one access specifier and should contain a return type and method name and parameters list and method signature as well as method body. And coming to those 6 components, the first one is method signature. Every method has a method signature. It is part of the method declaration. It includes the method name as well as parameter list. And access specifier. Access specifiers or modifier is the access type of the method. It specifies the visibility of the method. So Java provides 4 types of access specifier for us. The first one is public, and the second one is private, and third one is protected, and fourth one is default. The method is accessible by all the classes when we use public specifier in our application. When we use a private access specifier, the method is accessible only in the classes in which it is defined. When the method declared with a protected access specifier, the method is accessible only within the same package or subclasses in a different package. See, when we don't use any access specifier in front of a method, then that is called the default access specifier. So when we use this default access specifier, it is visible only from the same package only. And coming to the return type is a data type that the method returns. It may have a primitive data type, object, collection, void, etc. So if the method does not return anything means, so we'll use the keyword called void in front of a method name. And method name, it is a unique name that is used to define the name of a method. So it must be corresponding to the functionality of the method. Suppose if we are creating a method for subtraction of 2 numbers, the method name must be like subtraction or sub. So if you want to perform addition of 2 numbers, the method name should be like addition or add. So a method is invoked by its name with the help of the object in Java. And coming to the parameter list, so it is the list of parameters separated by comma, and enclosed in the pair of parentheses. And coming to the method body, it is a part of a method declaration. It contains all the actions to be performed. It enclosed within the pair of curly braces. So these are the different kinds of components which should be maintained while declaring a method in Java. And coming to the types of methods, so there are two types of methods in Java. The first one is the predefined methods. The second one is the user-defined methods. These predefined methods are methods that are already defined in the Java class libraries known as predefined methods and standard library methods and built-in methods. So few of the predefined methods are length, equals, compare to, square root, and etc. If you see the example of the program, this is the class. Here the class name is demo. So this is the main method. So in this program, I have used the method called max, which is provided by the math class. Since here the max is a predefined method. See, max is a predefined method, so which is provided by the math class. Actually, this math class is available on the lang package. We need not to import the lang package in Java program. So there is a privilege only for the lang package. So even without using the lang package, without importing the lang package also, we can able to use the lang package classes and its methods. So here max is the method which is provided by the math class. See, so the output of this program is 9. So because max is the method, it will return the maximum number among two numbers, since max is the predefined method, right? So as I told you, predefined methods are already available in Java class libraries. So in the above example, we have used the predefined methods. The first one is main and print and max. Right. So from main, the program execution will be start. So print will print the output of this program. So print is a method of print stream class. Again, this print stream class is available in lang package. And the second category of the methods is user defined methods. The method written by the user or programmer is known as a user defined method. These methods are modified according to the user requirement. So how to create the user defined methods? So let's create a user-defined method that checks the number is even or odd. So first we will define the method. So like this. So here I have taken a method. Here I have taken a method public static void. Here the method name is find even odd. See, these are the parameters. The parameters type is integer. Here I have used a condition. If num modulo division by 2 equal to 0, then it prints that the given number is even, else it prints that given number is odd. See here, the user-defined method is find even odd. You can observe the name of the method here, find even odd. See, if you observe the naming convention of the method, this here, the name contains three words. The first word is find, the second word is even, the third word is odd. See, if you observe the name here, the first word, first letter should be small. The second word, first letter should be caps. The third word, first letter should be caps, and there is no space in between the method name. So this is the naming convention we have to follow while defining the user-defined methods. So here, public is the access specifier, static is the keyword, void is the return type, and entire thing is the body. And this is the method signature. So these are the components of a method. Right? So and finally, this method will return us if the given number is even or the given number is odd based upon this condition. If the result is equal to 0, then the given number is even, otherwise the given number is odd. So this is the example of user-defined methods in Java. And in previous example, so we have seen how to create the block of a method, and here we will see how to invoke the block of a method from the class. So if you see this example, so here I have taken one method. The method is find even odd. See, here I have taken the method inside of a class. The class name is even or odd. So if you observe this program, so I have imported a package called util package, and I have taken a methods from scalar class here. So to invoke the methods of any class, we have to create the object here. So this is the main method, and inside of the main, I have created an object called scan for this scanner class. Yes, here scan is the object of scanner class. See, I am taking a number from the keyboard. So to read a number from the keyboard, so we need to depending upon the scanner class. See, scanner class is providing us the method called nextInt. By using this nextInt method, whatever the key I am pressing from the keyboard, it will be converted into integer. See, the first number, the number will be stored into num. With the help of scan object, I am invoking the nextInt method, since nextInt method is provided by scanner class. Right. Here I am calling the method. While I am calling the method, I am passing a number whichever I read it from the keyboard. See, with that number, see, this condition will be checked. If the condition returns 0 means the number is even. If the condition returns any positive number means then the number is odd. And coming to the concept of method overloading. So method overloading in Java is the feature that enables defining several methods in a class having the same name but with different parameters list. That means in the same class we can able to declare more than one class with the same name. So that is called the concept of method overloading. So method overloading, by using this method overloading concept, we can able to achieve compile time polymorphism. So there are different ways to overload the method. So the first way is by changing the number of arguments. The second way is by changing the data type. See, you can see the first way now. So method overloading in Java allows defining multiple methods with the same name but different parameters list. So one common form of overloading is changing the number of arguments in the method signature. So if you see this example here, so this is the class called adder. Here I am having a method called add. Here I am having a method called add. Since in the same class adder, I am having two methods with the same name. This is called the concept of method overloading. So if you observe here, the parameters are two parameters. If you observe here, the parameters are three parameters. Here we are having two parameters A and B. Here I am having three parameters A, B, C. So this is called the concept of what? Method overloading. See, this is the another class. Here the class name is test overloading 1. See, inside of the main, so inside of the println method, I am calling this add method with the help of class name. So usually if you take any method, so we will invoke the method with the help of object. But whereas here I am invoking the method with the help of class name. So that is possible with the help of this static keyword. That means this method is a static method. This method is also a static method. If there is a static method, we need not depending upon any object. We can directly invoke the method with the help of the class name. Here the class name is adder. See here adder.add. Here this is the class name, this is the method name, these are the parameters. How many parameters? Two parameters. So when we pass two parameters, it will invoke the first method. It will invoke the first method because the number of parameters here are two. See, so in this println method, I am invoking the second method. So second method, here the number of parameters are 3. See, this second method will be invoked. So based on the number of parameters, the corresponding methods will be invoked. Right? Here the output is 22, here the output is 33. See, if you observe here, in the same class environment, I am having two different kinds of methods with the same name. That is called the concept of method overloading. By using method overloading, we can achieve compile time polymorphism. Yeah, and this is the second way to achieve method overloading. The second way is changing the data type of arguments. See, if you observe the same program here, so again I am taking the class adder. So in this class adder, add is the method. Here also add is the method. Here the return type of add method is integer. Here the return type of add method is double. So this is also a static method. This is also a static method. But if you see the arguments, here I am having two arguments. Here also I am having two arguments. But the difference here is the argument type is integer here. The argument type is double here. That means there are two methods with the same name, but the arguments type is different. See, so same I am taking one more class here. The class name is test overloading 2. So I am taking the main method. So inside of the println method, I am invoking the method with the class name, since that is a static method. See, these two are integer variables. So with this, the first method will be invoked. because here the type of arguments is integer. So if you observe here, these are the double values. So when we invoke this add method, automatically the call will be passed to this second method. Right? So because of the type of these values are double. So when we pass integer variables, integer add method will be invoked. When we pass double variables, this second method, double add method, will be invoked. So when integer values are passed, the output will be 22. When double values are passed, the output will be 24.9. Right? And one more important note here, in Java, method overloading is not possible by changing the return type of the method only. So return type means what? Here int is the return type, here double is the return type. So if you keep int here, and if you keep double here, and if you keep integer values, here also if you keep integer values, then method overloading is not possible. So method overloading will be done with the help of two ways, by changing the number of arguments or by changing the type of arguments. By changing the only return type, method overloading is not possible in Java. And one more topic here is the method overriding. So by using method overriding, we can achieve runtime polymorphism in Java. So coming to the concept of method overriding, so if a subclass has the same method as declared in the parent class, is known as method overriding. If the subclass has the same method, that means what? If the subclass name is, for example, add, even the superclass name is also add. That means in superclass and subclass we are having the same method. That is called the concept of method overriding in Java. The usage of Java method overriding is used to provide specific implementation of a method that is already provided by its superclass. Here superclass means what? A base class or parent class. Method overriding allows subclasses to reuse and build upon functionality provided by their superclass, reducing the redundancy and promoting modular code design. And coming to the example of this method overriding, so if you observe this example here I have taken a parent class called vehicle. Parent class called vehicle. Here I have taken a child class called bike2. Right? So if I want to override this method, here run is a method. If you want to override this method, so this child class should derive from the parent class. So with the help of extends keyword. So extends is the keyword, so which is used to derive the subclasses from the parent class. Here parent class, that means the superclass is having the run method, which is having the body, it prints the statement called vehicle is running. See, even if you observe this child class is also having the same method. Here the name is none, here also name is none. This is called method overriding. In parent class we are having the same method called run. In child class we are having the same method called run. But this child method is giving us the statement called bike is running safely. Parent method is giving the statement called vehicle is running. See, instead of the main method, so I have created a object for child. So this is the statement, so which shows us creation of object for child class. So here the child class name is bike2, object name is obj, new bike2. So that means what? Here obj is object of child. Right? So with the help of a child object, I am invoking a method called run. So with the help of child object, when we are trying to invoke the run method, since run method is there in a child class as well as in parent class, automatically child class method will be invoked. So this child class method will give us the concept, the statement called bike is running safely. So this is the concept of method overriding. So with the help of method overriding, we can able to achieve runtime polymorphism. And coming to the concept of constructors. So in Java, constructor is a block of codes similar to a method. It is called when an instance of the class is created. When an instance of the class is creation means at the time of object creation, if the class contains any constructors, then the constructors will be invoked. So at the time of calling constructors, memory for the object is allocated in memory. So it is a special type of method which is used to initialize the object. Every time an object is created using the new keyword, at least one constructor is called. it calls the default constructor if there is no constructor available in the class. In such case, Java compiler provides a default constructor by default. If there is a constructor, that constructors will be invoked at the time of instance creation. If there is no constructor, default constructor will be invoked. See, here the rules to create the Java constructor is, so constructor name should be like as a class name. Constructor name and class name should be equal. A constructor must have no explicit return types. So constructor should not preceded with any return types, but method will be preceded with some return types. And a Java constructor cannot be abstract, cannot be static, cannot be final, and cannot be synchronized. So these are the different kinds of keywords. Abstract is a keyword. By using abstract keyword, we can able to define abstract classes and abstract methods. If it is a static method, see, we need not to create any object. If it is a final, so final means final methods will not support for or overriding. And if it is a synchronized means, if it is a synchronized method, we can able to share the resources in a proper manner. Yeah, coming to the Java constructors. So like as methods, here also we are having two types of constructors. The first one is a default constructor. Default constructor means no arguments are there in constructor, and the second one is a parameterized constructor. And default constructor means if there is no any constructor without arguments, definitely one default constructor will be invoked at the time of instance creation. We will see the types of constructors one by one. Yeah, the first category of constructor is a default constructor. A constructor is called default constructor when it doesn't contain any parameter. So example of default constructor. So in this example, we are creating the no argument constructors in the bike class. It will be invoked at the time of object creation. Object means here instance. So if you see the program here I have taken a class bike1. See, what is the name of class here? Bike1. The name of constructor is also bike1. So this is the first rule. The class name and constructor name should be same. This constructor is also look like as a method, so which is giving the statement called bike is created. See, when we'll invoke a constructor means at the time of object creation. So if you observe this statement, so this is bike1, B is the object of the class, new bike1. So in this case, is there any constructors are there? The constructors will be invoked. Here bike1, the bike1 constructor will be invoked. If you observe the bike1 constructor, there is no arguments over there. So simply it is giving us a statement called bike is created. So this is called what? A default constructor. So here the output is bike is created. See, there is a rule. If there is no constructor in a class, compiler will automatically create a default constructor. But in this example, constructor is there, but constructor doesn't contain any arguments. And coming to the second type of constructor, a parameterized constructor. So if you observe this parameterized constructor, so here the class name is student4. Here the constructor name is student4. See, this constructor is having some parameters, two parameters. The first one is I, which is a type of integer. The second one is n, which is a type of string. And if you observe this class is having one constructor, and these are the variables of a class. And this is the method. Here the method name is display. The return type of display is void. One constructor is there as well as one method is there. And inside of the main method, if you observe the main method here I have created a two object. The first object is S1, the second object is S2. That means there are two objects are there. See, while we are creating the S1 object, the constructor will be invoked. So when the constructor is invoked, we are passing two values to that constructor. The first one is a triple one, the second one is current. That means with S1 we have passed two values. These two values will be stored into I and n. The I will be assigned to ID, the n will be assigned to name according to S1. And at the time of object 2 creation, S2, again I am passing these two values into constructor. So S2 is also passing two values. The first one is triple 2, the second one is arg. That means according to S1, two values we pass it. According to S2, two values we pass it. right? See, if you observe the code here, I am calling this method display method with the help of object 1. So when we are invoking the display method with the help of object 1, it will give us the ID and the name. See, what are the values we passed with the help of object 1? 111 and current. The first output is 111 and current. And again I am invoking the display method with the help of object 2. So while I am invoking the display method with the help of object 2 called S2 here, it will give me the values called 222 and Rn, because the S1 values are different, S2 values are different. So this is called parameterized constructor. So here we are having two kinds of parameters. The first one is I, integer parameter. The second one is n, string parameter. So parameters are there inside of a constructor. This is called parameterized constructor. And like as method overloading, constructor overloading is also possible in Java. See, coming to the constructor overloading, constructor is just like a method but without return type. It can also be overloaded like Java methods. So in Java, there is a technique of having more than one constructors like methods with a different parameters list. So they are arranged in a way that each constructor performs a different task. So they are differentiated by the compiler by the number of parameters in the list and their types. So by number of parameters, we can make the differentiation in between the constructors while constructor overloading. See, if you observe the program here, there is a class called student5. So these are the variables of a class, and this is the constructor. See, here the constructor name is student5, which contains two arguments. This is also a constructor. So this name is also student5, so which also contains three parameters. Here two parameters, here three parameters. The name is same in single class. This is called what? Constructor overloading. So let's see how to invoke this constructor. So like as in our previous program, so here also I have created two values. The first one is S1, the second one is S2. See, with the help of S1, I am passing these two values into constructor. With the help of S2, I am passing these three values into constructor. Right, while I am invoking the same constructor called student5, see, when I am passing these two values, the constructor which is having two parameters will be invoked. When I am passing these three values, the constructor which is having three values will be invoked. If you observe the types, this is integer, this is string, again this is integer. So the first 222 will be stored in I, the Rn will be stored in n, the 25 will be stored in a. Whereas here the 111 is stored in I, the current is a type of string which will be stored in n. Here the I will be initialized to id, and n will be assigned to name, I will be assigned to id, n will be assigned to name, and a will be assigned to age. So when we are invoking a method called display, the S1 will give us these two values and 0 is the default value. And when we are trying to invoke the display with the help of, here display is a method with the help of S2 object, so it will give us the three values. The first one is 222, this is Rn, and the third one is 25. So that means if a class contains more than one constructor, the constructor should be having same name. So we can make the differentiation with the help of types of parameters or number of parameters, like as in method overloading. So this is the concept of constructor overloading. Yeah, in this session I have covered method, types of methods, method overloading, method overriding, and constructors, types of constructors, and constructors overloading. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.